Dr. Shankbottom here. We are working on the front door today. This is a Baldwin Brass. Let me bring it a little closer here. Can you all see it? Yeah, it's a Baldwin Brass front entryway. Okay. These people are great just because this thing has been on here, let me come down a little bit, for, gosh, I don't know, 10 years? I don't know, maybe longer. And it started sort of getting a little bit loose right here a few months ago, then finally just gave it up. It'll still work, but when you push that down, your latch will stick. Doesn't come all the way out, so you've got to wiggle it, jiggle it. I took it all apart, and the piece inside of here that supports this is broken. A little spring is missing, and a little piece is broken off of it, so the latch won't come out like it's supposed to, or go back in like it's supposed to either. I called Baldwin Brass. Guys are awesome. I mean, they said, yep, send us pictures. I wasn't even sure exactly which model number this was. I'll show you on the instructions. They got all that taken care of for me. I sent them some pictures, showed them what it was doing, talked to them, and bam, now we have a repair piece for this. And I'm going to get that out, show you how we repair it. But I can't recommend these guys enough. We got Baldwin Brass stuff all over the house, but for them to come back, 10 years later and say, yeah, the little latch broke, we're going to fix you up. So let's go over here and look at all the directions and stuff we've got, all the pieces we've got, and then we'll get to work taking this off. It looks like from everything we've got to do, you got to take everything completely off, because you got to get to the innards up in here and replace the latch here along with this thumb latch here, or I guess the bolt here, thumb latch here. But anyway, let's go over here and take a look at the directions, and we'll get this thing started. All right, so back over in the kitchen a little bit, got this all laid out. You can see great directions. They also have they sent a link to a YouTube video that kind of shows how to do all this. I thought I'd make my own video. Here is pretty much what is included. Let's get it right there. All the pieces, screws, everything you're going to need, okay, to put this together. And we've got all that laid out. It's all right here. I just double checked to make sure I wasn't missing any pieces. You got everything in their instructions. They say make absolutely sure that you replace every single piece if it's not broken. Like this one on the old one is fine. Even this latch is actually, or bolt is actually fine. But they said replace everything, so I will. This plate on the other one actually looks to be in good shape, but they said put everything in. That's what we're going to do. So let me get back to the door first, and the first thing we will do is take it off, remove it. Mine, if you look at here, mine is a Manchester 5350. But of course, if you call them and send them pictures, if you don't know exactly what your model number and everything is, they will fix you up, okay? Got a great little exploded view here too of everything, so you can see where all the parts and pieces, should be and ought to be. All right. Well, let me get this thing off, and then we'll see what we got to do. Here we go. All right, so these door latches, handles, what you want to call them, they're really easy to get off. This is a little reversible, so it's got a flathead and a Phillips, and then I got another Phillips. I just like using this one, and then a pair of pliers, and that's pretty much it to get these off. So I'm gonna go ahead and set these down. Let me get started. It's a little dark on the back side. I get that I got the lights on, but still, hopefully when we do a little editing to it. There's a screw at the top, a screw at the bottom, okay? There's a screw all the way down here for the lower part of the handle. Inside of here, another thing that you will need, it came with the kit, you need a little Allen wrench. Up underneath here, right there is a little Allen screw so you can get this handle off. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this handle off, then I'll unscrew this and pull the whole thing apart, and I'll show you what it looks like once it comes apart. Okay, so here's the little Allen wrench. Get it in the light right there. Oh, it's too much light. There we go. Focus. You can see. So we'll put it in. It just goes in right here. It's really hard to get the camera at this angle and see, but it just goes in here. I think lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, if it'll cooperate with me, which it doesn't want to do. When that happens to you, you can get a longer Allen wrench or I don't know, I guess I put this thing on here tighter than I thought. But you can use like a pair of pliers to get yourself a little more leverage, because this thing will come off once I get the leverage on it. Here, this will give you a little more leverage to get that to come off. There you go. So we got it loosened up, get it off the rest of the way. Yeah, that one's in there pretty hard. But here, this will show you, you can see your Allen wrenches down inside of here. So, boop, boop. Okay. I mean, not your Allen wrench, your Allen screw. This thing is pretty tight. I might take it out and kind of clean it a little bit. Make sure, I don't think it's just really tight. But anyway, that's got that little bad boy out. And then our next thing is we're going to take these screws off the top and bottom. Actually, and I forgot, I need to go replace, I'm actually missing this little screw here on the bottom, but it should be a pretty easy thing to replace. Let me get this off here. It's not that big of a screw. Ta-da. Okay. Probably get a replacement at Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that. And then this, oh, sorry, this little guy, actually, he twists off. Here we go again. He's supposed to twist off. I must have put that thing on there a lot harder than I thought, but yep. Okay, so I'm gonna get a paper towel because I don't want to scratch it. Put a paper towel over it and gently squeeze it with my pliers and get that to start coming off, because that little bad boy is really on there. Hang on one second. So to get hold of things like this that are smooth and they don't want to work with you, make sure you got the size about right. Use something like a towel or a rag. Paper towel will work. I just really have to get it started. But you want to make sure that you don't scratch this up. Of course, if you don't care about scratching it up, then just go for it. But I kind of care about getting it scratched up. There we go. Just kind of get it started, and off it comes, a little cap. And now you can see the Phillips head underneath there. That will go ahead and get that little bad boy off. That'll loosen us up. This goes straight through the door here to the bottom part of the handle out front, which I'll show you in a minute. I know it's a little dark on this side. That's that screw. Got all the lights on and everything, but it's still a little dark on the inside. Okay, so so I pushed it closed. You can just put the handle back on and let's turn it to get it open. There you go. Okay, good deal. So this little bad boy just comes right off. And you can see in there's where your piece fits to turn your deadbolt. All right, so that comes off easily. And now then hopefully with the light here that's come out, you can see a little bit better. Now it's really all done, okay? This piece is usually going to pop out right there. Okay, so another thing they said to do before you take this back plate off is get your deadbolt out. So I just turned it out so the deadbolt is sliding out, and that way your pin on the back is in the right direction for when you put it back on. So there's screws. Let's just see if we can see this. I think you probably can. This light is tough with the sun outside, but there's screws on the back here, two here, and two here, that we're going to take off. Okay, and the Phillips head. One of these is, yeah, now I remember, you got to go like that and then get that one up. Okay, so I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm just talking to myself here while we work. So in order to take this off with this up, you have access to this far screw over here, okay, that you can take off. But the way that the innards on this little thing works, once you rotate it over, you can't get access to the other screws. So you're going to have to come back. So there's one out. Now they sent replacements for that, so I want to keep them aside. That screw seems perfectly fine, but they said use all the screws. It looks to be the same thread and size and everything. I will tell you one thing that they sent, I'm thinking it'll still work. My piece is oval shaped. I just now noticed that. The replacement piece is square. Just to be sure, I'm going to work here. You know what? Okay, so I might have to take back a little bit. So they sent this replacement piece. Just now realized that. And mine, as you can see, has got this shape to it. It's not the square shape. So they actually sent the wrong replacement piece. All right, so yeah, did a little research here and looking up my parts, and they have sent the wrong plate. Tried to call them. They're closed today. I don't see any big difference though in this old plate and the new plate. The springs in my old plate are working fine. The mechanics in the old plate are working just fine. So I don't really see the need to replace that plate. So anyway, we're gonna push on ahead here, right? And remember I said you pull this over and you can take this other screw out at the top. So we'll just push on ahead, and I've already got it undone. I've got some time off today. I wanted to try to do this today, so let's get her done. At the very least, it's still going to be a broken door, and I call them and get the new plate. So once you have your screws off, then look on this side. That bolt will slide right out. Okay, and it does have alignment that goes along the top, so that the name Baldwin is right there. Just leave him like that. I have put them back in before where I got them twisted and backwards and sideways, and if you run into that problem, I'll show you what to do. You have to pull it back out, flip your little pin over. But in order to keep us right, I'm going to leave the pin like that, like it came out. And on my door, the right-hand side, actually with them straight across, both of them are open. So, yeah. So let me just get this other screw off here at the bottom. Okay, this bad boy right here. And get him to come on off. And this will be tied into this main one, and that's where we're having a little bit of problem with the thumb latch on the outside. So I'm gonna go ahead and get him on out of here. Just don't want that latch. I guess it doesn't really matter. The latch is broken. If it falls, it doesn't really matter. I don't want to dent up my floor. Okay, so this bad boy's off. All right, and you see what I mean. I don't know if you could tell from the camera angle, but my door has this oval-shaped, what do they call it? Emergency exit cartridge. That's what they call that. And we should be able to get this out. There you go. Here's your piece that's gone whack right inside of here. Okay. Now they sent a new latch for here as well. And obviously this, let me pull this out. Oh, good gracious. So this piece and this piece that's in the back here is new. It goes in like that inside here, okay. And yeah, they sent the new latch pieces, you know, like here. It's got the turn on that side. This is something I've done quite a bit. When I put these together, I made a little mistake. There's a little ridge. You remember that screw that we screwed in, the little hex screw? It goes into that ridge. So make sure once you put it in, that ridge is facing down, because that's where the handle goes. Just a little aside. So we'll try to keep all of the new and old pieces together, but like to me, yeah, my old pieces are not really broken. I'm going to keep them. Like you can tell, the old one's got a little time on it, right? Not quite as shiny. And the new one is a little shinier. It's about all I can tell from that. Don't close the door all the way. You have time getting that out. Okay. So now we just need to get it back together. Get her back together. Okay. Let me show you what we're going to do first. Like they said, to replace this, so I guess I will. I mean, my latch here looks like it's working just fine. This one looks identical to the one I'm going to be taking out, but yeah. So I'll screw this one out and then put their new one back in. So like I said, I don't see any difference, and that thing is working great, but they say replace all the pieces. Of course, I can't replace that main piece because I don't have the right piece. But let's get this little bad boy out of here. Okay. So he'll come right on out. Now, no replacement piece for this deadbolt latch up here. You do have to be careful. I'm going to take this on out against maybe my slightly better judgment, because you only have so many times that you can screw these screws here holding your bolt in. Screw them out and back in, out and back in. Then you eventually have to get longer screws because it won't hold into the wood of the door. And so, yeah, I've only taken it out a few times, so it should be okay. So the screws are out there. All right, let's see here. The latch should just come on out. There he is. He's out. Like I said, it doesn't really look any different to me. I don't know. You don't see any difference, but we'll switch it out. You want to make sure this curved side goes towards your door there, towards the close, so it latches right. Just going to kind of tap him down. There he goes. And so he's in. Another thing to do, because it might get too tight, after doing several of these in the past, is, oops, get him on there. Here he goes. I'm holding the door with my foot here. If y'all can see, I know the light coming in is a little bit bothersome, but get this little bad boy screwed on down, but not all the way down, because it should all line up properly. You know, it really should. But I've done them enough to know that sometimes if you tighten this all the way down from the very beginning, you end up having to loosen it up. You'll have trouble occasionally getting the inside here to line up, occasionally. Okay, so we've got our new latch here, all right? And then we got the old one that's on here. So I'm going to take these screws off and take this old latch off right here, okay? Give y'all a break for a minute while I take that latch off, and I'll show you what we do. Okay, so when you're working on that inside piece, I don't know, what do you call this? We can get the real name here. The thumb, what? The thumb bliff? What the heck? Thumb blit? I don't know, the thumb pusher. The thumb pusher cartilage, thumb blit cartridge, I think is what they call it. Good gracious, what the heck is that? So anyway, this little piece, once you take it off, there's two screws here on the back that hold it in, but this screw comes from the other side to hold the other cartridge in. This other one has, you can see where I put a little Loctite on it. This other one has a piece that goes through there, and that's what also screws in and screws it down. They say to use a like a pair of pliers for that, and you can. I've done it before with a little bitty wrench to get it on there. So this one obviously is going to need to go. I will need to keep these two, well, I think I've got, nope, they included two screws for that. But inside here, here's my problem. Right there, that broke. There was a spring inside of here. Should sit up against here and here, but this one broke on this side and let the little thumb blit, right, pop out. So your new one with the thumb, and see I don't know, I might even, just because I like the aged look of this, let me just see here. Yeah. So when I look at my two little thumb latches here, they're pretty much identical. This one's not damaged. And I really like the worn look of this because it's been on there for years and it kind of matches the rest of the door where it's kind of worn. So I think I'm going to start off with putting the old one back in because I like that weathered look. Taking a little bit of a risk. They say to replace everything, and it's the same size. Those are the same size, same length, same size. So I'm gonna take my chances with it because I like the way it looks. If it doesn't work, yeah, my bad. I gotta go back and redo it myself. So for your latch, and as you can see, I think a little design, all probably about the same design. This is our new latch, or a new cartridge. Not broken here, right? The old latch fits right into it. It goes up underneath there and comes down. Now this one looks like it's more spring loaded on the inside. Yeah, so that might help it a little bit to stay open. Yeah, instead of having a spring that lifts it up, all the spring is on the inside. So once you're inside the door, it fits in just like that right there. Okay, so you're going to work this through the handle. Make sure you put it in the right way. Here's your handle for the outside. Your thumb, it goes up like this. You get it in just by a little whoop, whoop, and whoop. Okay, now you're in. And then once you line it up with the new cartridge, see the old doctor coming out of me. Yeah, I'm just lining it up here. It's hard to show on camera, but this little piece, there we go, needs to go into this notch right here, and you can watch it go in here from the back. And then once that's in, a little wiggling, a little waddling, and it should, I say it should since you can't quite see it. It should just pop right in. Of course, the instructions say it pops right in. Half the time that's not how this stuff works. It won't pop right in. But we know he goes down here. Yeah, he's going to take a little finagling to get him in. There. He's still not in. He's just not in quite right. Yeah, he's got to be in up here. So lift your latch up. That'll help you get him in the right place. The latch should be up like that. That'll go in the bottom and then pieces into the top. Come on, there you go. And once you got him, hold him on there, okay? But there he is. And you can see from the side, toot, 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 toot. Hear that spring in there. Hold him down so it doesn't pop back up. Put the 2 screws into the back. Whoops, here we go. 2 screws into the back, right? And then my thumb's over it, so when it goes in here. So let me screw those down, we'll get a look at it. All right, so that's pretty easy. It's on, it's in. The latch works, springs back like it's supposed to. And from here, we just do the reverse. Let me show you, we're gonna put this will go on the outside first, right? And then take your cylinder, put your back on, and feed your cylinder through the top through there first. The other thing, when you put your bottom piece in, your inside piece, let's see, your inside cartridge. Don't forget that this little guy, here we go. All right. When he is in here, ta-da. Okay, you want to feed him in from the back first, or feed him through here first. Okay, because if you mount this and then try to put this shaft through here, it doesn't fit once you're on. So whoops, it's on this side. So either in here, and remember you want that place where the Allen screw goes right here, facing down and in, because your handle sits like this. Okay, so what I did to help get the door on, well, before I did it, I think I mentioned that my son was helping me hold it onto there, get some of this light out of the way. To get it to stay on there today, I'm working by myself. I just put this lower screw in that kind of holds it out there well enough to keep it. Here's your cartridge, I guess it's called, for your deadbolt, right? The way I had it before. And I do have it open. So it goes through the outside and then through the little slit, if I can get it, there it is. And then it'll fit in through the outside just like that. It'll hang for a little bit, okay? You got this piece right here that goes in the bottom. And just to give you a look, show you how this works. Let's see if we can get it focused. Come on now. There we go. So this piece, this is your bolt here in the door. This is the edge, outside edge of your door, right? We're just going to close. This thing faces like this. There's a little hole right here. It's got a little pin right here, okay? And the pin fits right in. It goes right in like that. All right, that's how that fits together. Really hard to show it inside the door, but that's how this little piece fits in there. So I'm gonna fit that piece in, all right? And hopefully it'll just go right in like it's supposed to, but sometimes it's much easier to show it on the outside how to fit the thing in there. See that? Wobbling around and wiggling around and doesn't want to do anything. I line up the hole in the back, and then, yeah, it should just pop right in like you saw me do. But for some reason, when it's inside of here, making this silly thing line up seems to be a real problem, and I'm not sure why. So anyway, lift up on it there, and then we're in. Okay, so it takes a little finagling, but we're in. All right, then you've got your spindle here, okay? You got a little washer, right, that goes onto your spindle on this side. Don't forget your little groove needs to go with the way your door's facing with your handle on mine. Handle's over here, groove needs to go down and in, okay? And you take it just like it is and feed him all the way through until that little, I don't know what it's called, a little nipple is up against there, okay? Try not to bump things too much. You're gonna be golden here in just a minute, all right? You are gonna be golden, trust me. So let me get my cartridge up here and get it lined up. I'm just getting this center lined up here for us. Okay. And I've got one screw in there, and I got these other two screws. I think this is going to work fine, even though they sent the wrong cartridge. So get him lined up right through there. Here he goes. And then the top lines up. Be careful not to push. You'll push that cartridge out the back or the front, whichever way it is. Get him on there just a little bit. Yep, gonna pull. He's on. Okay, get him on. So you don't want to tighten these down until you kind of get them all going. Okay. If you do tighten one too tight and you notice that when you're trying to put it in and get it into there, it doesn't want to screw in easily, then you need to kind of check where you're sitting and how you're sitting. Like this, for some reason. I think it just shifted inside of there because it does not. There it goes. Now he's better. But if you notice that your screws are not going in easily, they definitely should go in easily. Then you could have them where they're sitting cattywampus and you run the risk of stripping these things. Like this one is not lining up. So let me get in where I can actually see the alignment on this little bad boy. Yeah, he doesn't want to line up properly. So you just pull him back out. That darn gravity thing is wreaking havoc on him, making him where he wants to fall down instead of go straight in like he's supposed to. Oh, please stop. So anyway, well, let me get a better handle on exactly where he is. I have to lift up a little bit to get him to line up. There he is. There he goes. See how easily once you're lined up, it just goes right in. And then I've got to get that piece that I put in there for the inside, get him lined up, and there you go. Just took a little finagling. So like you can see, and I'm going to leave that in the video because you may notice it takes a little finagling. Now you remember from the beginning I didn't tighten up these all the way till I had everything lined up and ready to go. Same thing for this. You don't want to tighten these up all the way until you know you have your alignment right. Looks like this is all working. I got plenty here. I want this all the way in. So I'm going to tighten this on down. And once I do tighten this down, I will double check and make sure it's not catching or anything like that. So I'll take my handle, checking again to make sure my ridge is over here. And well, we're locked. Okay, so see now I've got a little bit of a problem with them innards. Huh. Let me see what the silly thing has done. Okay, this may not be a video for y'all once we're all said and done. I just tested it and it worked great. And now it's not. Okay. Oh. Okay, so we're back on. I will show you, I don't remember having this little bit of trouble. Last time I was putting this on, putting multiple of these on, but you know, we're working fine now. But when I did the top first and then went for the bottom, that little spacer in there, what's it called? The alignment fitting. So what kept happening is this little alignment fitting kept slipping off. So I started the bottom first, kept the alignment fitting on, tightened them up. Now you see it works just fine. So put all the hardware back on the top of it and tighten it up. You're done. Okay. I'll get a picture of it once we're all done. All right, so there we got it. Dr. Shankopotamus fixing the Baldwin Brass front door hinge with their replacement. I kept the old one on for looks. It works great. So thank y'all for watching. If you liked it, thumbs up. And I'll keep posting more things that I fix. You saw a few headaches with that. Hopefully it helps y'all to get through it quicker. It took about an hour for the whole thing. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. Have a great afternoon. See y'all later. Bye-bye.